Hi everyone, I am the cemetery mom, Chrissy, and I am at Woodward Township Cemetery again, checking up on the stones that I have cleaned myself with water, Orvis, or D2, or combination of. And I am checking on my very first tombstone cleaning, the Solomon and Rebecca Wurster tombstone. Many of you have heard me talk about this tombstone and what it means to me for being my first tombstone. It was relatively covered with a lot of lichens, and it was my first one, and it was a lot of hard work, and I had a lot of support as I went and I shared my first time cleaning story. The Wurster family, Solomon and Rebecca, are my husband's 7th or 8th great-grandparents on his mother's side. So we are a direct descendant of them, and thus my children are as well. So it had a special meeting. Solomon died in 1915 and Rebecca died in 1954. So I have never met them. I know that some family members have met them, obviously being in 1954. And so it was an honor to clean their tombstone. When I first approached their tombstone, it was covered in a lot of wet lichens in the Wurster portion of it. And Solomon's name was virtually unreadable. On my blog, I do have pictures of before and after, and that was about 3 years ago. So I have not touched the Wurster tombstone since I cleaned it initially. And I used water, Orvis, and I scraped with a plastic scraper, and I used a soft bristle brush, and I used a toothbrush to get in between the letters, and I used a little plastic pick to get into the letters where the toothbrush couldn't reach. And I did a lot of scraping and repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. I would say I spent about a total of 10 hours on the stone. I came back several times. So I washed it with water and Orvis, and then I scraped it and scrubbed it for a couple hours. And then I left for a week, and I came back, and I repeated the same process. And then my final cleaning, I sprayed it with D2 and I did a little bit of a scrub. I rinsed it out, and then I again applied the final coat and walked away. Is everyone ready to see the reveal of what it looks like 3 years later? As you can see, the Wurster stone is now almost completely cleared off of all lichens. You can see here that there is a little bit left of what I couldn't get, but it is dead growth. This is grass from the recent mowing, so I haven't cleaned it out, but you can see inside the letters where I couldn't completely and totally get everything in the nooks and crannies. You can now read Rebecca's name fully, along with her birth date and death date. And Solomon. As I said, Solomon you couldn't read at all because it had growth all over it. And you can still see some residual right here, lichen growth. But so far, after 3 years, there is nothing returning. I most likely will not come back to the stone until I see a significant growth. And if I do start to see a significant growth, I will at least just administer a water and Orvis cleaning as opposed to a full D2 cleaning, just because, as you can see, there's not that much growth on it. So all in all, my first tombstone cleaning, I would say, is a huge giant success.